If you've been running KDP ads over the last Q4, there's a good chance you're sat on an absolute goldmine of keywords worth thousands of pounds that you don't even know about. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly where you can find them and how you can optimize your advertising campaigns using them to make as much profit as possible. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got a really important video for you. If you've been advertising over Q4, essentially what we're going to be doing, jumping straight into it, is extracting exact phrases from all of our Q4 advertising data. This might sound a little bit confusing as you make your way through the video. Please be patient, watch the entire thing, and maybe watch it over a few times if you're still not too sure. I'm going to try and present it in as easy a way to understand, but make sure you're paying attention because this is super valuable, and like I say, can literally save you thousands of pounds and make you thousands of pounds with your advertising campaigns going forward. So what we're actually talking about here, if we're talking about extracting exact phrases for our campaigns, it's going to work best for the auto ads and broad keyword ads that we've already got set up. So these are campaigns that I kind of call first level campaigns, and they're just very broad ads that kind of cast a wide net out and pull back exact phrases or exact products for us that we know then convert to sales. So let's take the example of the broad keyword ad phrase coloring book. Just a quick heads up, if this doesn't make any sense to you as you're going through, just wait until you see the whole video because it will begin to make sense as we make our way through. So let's just take the example of the broad keyword target coloring book. Say we're targeting this. What this is going to do, I'm going to put the definitions of both the phrase and the broad match types from Amazon advertising on screen now, so you kind of understand exactly how a phrase and a broad match type works. But essentially with something like coloring book, what it's going to do is look at the phrase coloring book and basically target loads of different exact phrases with the words coloring book in them based on the match type. So if we have been advertising the phrase coloring book during Q4, we might pull back some kind of long tail keywords such as coloring books for boys aged 10 to 12, zoo animal color book for kids, easy coloring book for girls, animal coloring book for school kids, farm animal coloring book fun. And it's these long tail keywords that are super valuable for any advertising strategy. This short tail keyword specifically in itself isn't really that valuable to us because we're not really being very specific with it. We're just casting this really wide net. We're not actually targeting anything that granularly, but it's these long tail keywords that are super valuable. And this is the data that I'm talking about that we have already got access to if we've been advertising in Q4. So stay tuned to how we're going to use this. Like I say, this is where all the money is made. You might hear the phrase, the money is in the long tail. That's exactly what we're doing here for this strategy. So really lucrative if you can get this right and obviously do as I'm doing in this video and extracting all of this data. So why is this important and why are exact types really important for an advertising strategy? So in terms of broad targets, let's just say again, we're targeting the phrase coloring book. What you're doing here is you're essentially just saying to this keyword, okay, I'm going to pay you a certain amount. Let's pretend this keyword is a person. We're going to be paying this keyword a certain amount to try and find loads of different exact keywords for us based on their criteria. So we're actually paying basically a middleman to find those exact phrases for us. So what you'll end up doing is you're going to pay for some keywords, some exact phrases that do sell well, but you're also going to be paying for some exact phrases that don't, because you're just putting it into this very broad keyword phrase. It's going to come back and pull loads of exact phrases that don't actually do anything for your book sales, but is also at the same time going to pull back some that are useful. So it's kind of sieving through the good and the bad. However, if you just target exact phrases such as animal coloring book for boys aged 8 to 10, with exact targeting, you're actually only paying the keywords that you know you've sold well in the past, rather than targeting or paying for someone else to find these for you. So I kind of liken this to the real world scenario. Let's just pretend you kind of have an online business and you're recruiting for a job. Generally, you'd kind of go to a third party person that's going to go and find loads of people for you for your job. However, if you already knew someone that's going to be a great fit for your job, you wouldn't go to that middleman and pay them. You just go straight to the person that you want to recruit because you know exactly that they can deliver what you're after, and you'd save yourself so much money because you're only specifically targeting that one person. Whereas if you're targeting kind of the third party who has to go and look for loads of people themselves, you're paying them and then you're going to have to find and pay the people that you're actually recruiting yourself. So it's just basically skipping out the middleman, and that's what exact targeting kind of means in advertising kind of lingo. I'm kind of trying and apply that to real life as much as possible. So if that doesn't make a lot of sense, then apologies, but it makes sense for me and I hope that kind of makes sense for you too. So what all of this means, the bad news is, in order to find these profitable exact phrases, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money to harvest them from your first level campaigns. The good news is, if you've been advertising during Q4, you'll have already built up a batch of these phrases that you can access straight away because there's so much demand and traffic going through Amazon during Q4. You get so many clicks on these bids and these specific match types that you're actually going to get so much data sat in your back end of Amazon KDP that you probably don't even know about at this point. And the warning that this comes with is that this data actually expires very quickly. It only lasts 65 days from the point actually the data comes in, so you don't actually have an awful lot of time to download it, which is why I wanted to make this video now, because it's super important. So if you're watching this now, make sure you do this as soon as possible, because literally with every single passing day, you're losing potential money that you could be making from all of this data. And here is exactly how you're going to do it. So I'm going to jump over into the advertising console and explain exactly how we're going to find these exact match types now. So now I'm in my advertising console. As you can see, this is an ad I was running during Q4. For this specific ad, I spent just under $600 with a 21.19% ACoS, so it's performed really, really well. And what you want to do to find this data is just go into ad campaign and then click into the specific ad group. Once this loads up, you have to look onto the left-hand side and you're going to get a couple of options here. I'm obviously going to blur out some of the data on here because it's basically going to reveal exactly what my books are, which for obvious reasons I don't want to do. But what you need to do is go to this left-hand side here and go onto this search terms data. And essentially, again, I'm going to blur this out because it's going to reveal my book, but I'm going to show some dummy data over the top and edit some information in to kind of make it really clear for you. But what you've got here is you've got a specific customer search term, and you've also got the keyword or the broad phrase or broad match type that you kind of advertised against. So this is a really broad phrase, and this is the exact phrase that actually brought back through the broad campaign. And you've got loads of different metrics here, but what you want to do is go to the date range of the last 65 days. So the reason why this is so important is because this data actually only lasts for 65 days. So with every single passing day, you're just losing more and more data. So the sooner you can do this, the better. Just click on last 65 days. And what you want to do is order this by number of orders. So order it so the highest kind of keyword that sold the most orders comes first. So you can see here, this exact phrase here sold me 24 orders from this broad campaign. So what this data basically shows you is all of these orders that kind of, I would generally say, if over the last 65 days, they've had 3 or more orders, these exact phrases all show that they are converting to sales for this specific book. So these are the exact phrases that you want to double down and add to a brand new campaign. So how this basically works is look at this data, all the exact phrases that have more than 3 orders in, take these out and put them in their very own exact campaign. So you're only targeting the exact phrases in this brand new campaign, and then just add them as negative keyword targets to this broad campaign. So basically what you're saying is stop targeting them in a really broad campaign, because what we want to do is focus specifically on targeting these in their very own exact campaign. And what you're going to end up then is a really profitable campaign that, when you know, is just full of keywords that convert into sales for your book, because that's all backed by data. But the really important thing here, you don't necessarily have to do any of this now, but the first thing you do need to do is just go to this export button and just export all of this data, because the minute you press the export button, all this data is kind of frozen in time and captured, and you've got that forever. And then when you want to go and do your advertising campaign, so say in kind of March, April, May sort of time, if you decide to go and do that, you have all this data saved. Whereas if you didn't export it now, all of this valuable data will literally be gone, and you'll be left with no information you can actually create for your new campaign. So that's why it's so important to download this exact data. If you do need any more clarification kind of on this ad strategy, then do let me know in the comments or on Twitter. I'll happily explain it a little bit further. But I hope this video did make sense, and how you can access this search term data, and hopefully you can realize how valuable this data is with that new campaign that we're going to be making with just exact phrases. So I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, then please do leave a like. And like I say, any more clarification that you do need, please do let me know in the comments or on Twitter, because I know this can be a little bit confusing to get your head around, especially if you are brand new to advertising. So please let me know, and I'm more than happy to explain in more detail. But thanks for watching. If you do like this video, then please, as I say, do leave a like and subscribe for more KDP content, and I will see you in the next one.